Hey everyone, so this is a 40-minute raw footage video of, like I said, 24 hours alone sewing. It will be going up on all my social medias. If anyone does want it, if you comment, I'm more than happy to actually take all the footage and do a proper video with voiceover and everything. So just let me know, I'll see you later. Hey everyone, so I have the house to myself for the next 24 hours. So my room is still way too hot. It got cooler, and in the UK we've now hit at least 30, and my room is registering at like 31, 32. And unfortunately it's too hot to do any of the resin stuff I wanted to do, and it's too hot to actually just sit in my room to do any sewing. But I said I've got the house to myself for the next 24 hours, so I'm going to try and get a lot done. I've brought all my stuff down, so what I'm going to do is set up. I have also decided, because I'm getting Ascended Heroes a lot more because it's easier to get hold of right now because I'm not older. This binder currently has my Journey Together. I'm going to put this into a one of the deck boxes I've got, or I've got some like card boxes that I can put this set in, and because I've got two of this binder I can use both for Ascended Heroes. So I'm going to be taking the cards out at some point to do that. That will be a live stream of me putting Ascended Heroes in there though, so I won't do that. Found one of my books. I read this probably 15 years ago is when I first started reading this series, and I absolutely loved it, and it's called Wicker as well, but for some reason for the UK copies, or possibly American, I don't know, I think this is the UK, it's called Sweep, and I do really love this book. This is actually the first 3 books of the, I think it's 15 books in the whole series, and I've got some of the other books as well in the other version, like I said, it's called Wicker, that I managed to get from a library going out of sale, but I don't have all of them, and I'm looking forward to rereading this. I've also got my laptop down because I have a ridiculous amount of photos and videos from Comic-Con, Harry Potter and all that, and I am possibly going back to Harry Potter in, well, I am going back in September as an early birthday present. For the 25th anniversary event that is currently going on. So what's that? So I obviously need to back up and get rid of the thousands of photos and videos that are currently on my phone, so that I have room for all the new stuff that I want to do. So I will be getting through all of that soon. I'm also going to be setting up the ironing board and these little tables that we have as well. And literally I'm just going to have stations. So I'm going to have one of the tables, like I said, my laptop. The second table is going to keep my iPad on here. And the ironing board, I'm going to have projects I'm working on. This table is going to be clear for literally what I'm doing at the exact time. So I've got a lot of setting up to do, so I will see you all in a little while. Okay, so I have been setting stuff up. I also had lunch and have went out, and I was prepping the rice that I've now cooked for my dinner. My laptop is set up, that is just updating and everything. So I've got the table cleared ready, that's where I'm going to be actually sewing. And then I've got everything here, TV remotes. I'm going to be putting on a show while I'm there. This is all the stuff for Lady Jessica. The front piece is all sewn together now. Sorry, not the front. The vest piece itself is all sewn together, so it's just beading for that. One of the sleeves is about halfway done, so I'm hoping to get some of that as well. My neck magnifying glass, so you literally just hook that around your neck and it lets you work. That I find absolutely amazing because it means I can sit wherever I want and not have to hunch forward to work. So it does help. I have project boxes now. These are an absolute mess. Unfortunately, they got put upside down and that, and certain beads got mixed in. I will apologise for this noise as well. My allergies are going ridiculous. So this is from a low-key project that I started. The problem was I started this absolutely years ago when I was just hodgepodging projects together by just taking pieces and trying to use as little fabric as possible. And I've still got the dress and I do want to finish it, but at the state it is in right now, I think because the skirt is literally just made too tight and I can't move, I'm probably going to what I'm going to do, my plan for it is take the skirt and split the panels by just like cutting straight lines up, hemming it, and then making an underskirt, and then the panels will just move a lot easier. It means I don't have to completely take everything off and restart from the beginning. But yeah, these were all the beads and rhinestones that I planned on embroidering all over it. And as you can see, like I said, it has mixed all up. So one day I will, when I actually get back to that project. This was Espion and Lithium. Now, Espion is actually finished as a dress. It is literally just the ears and the towel that I need to make for that project to be complete, which is why I haven't worn it yet. But the dress I actually finished about 2.5, 3 years ago possibly. Lithium, I still have all the pieces here. The cape that I made, I don't actually even know where that is anymore. But I think I was going to scrap it because it just doesn't look right anymore. And that was the only piece of that costume I ever got around to. This one was for a overcoat kind of dress that I made. Oh, that would have been probably about 6 or 7 years ago. I still have it. I actually do want to put more on, but think for now it's got enough because it was just all around along the edge of it, and down the bottom was just beaded hell. But most of these, I think the silver beads I'm going to take out, and these are what I'm going to use for Emily. And all the blue beads and that I am going to use for Sleeping Beauty, because I have a lot of these really nice like light blue pearls and that I can just sew all over the skirt and the sleeves to make it look a lot nicer. So that's the reason I haven't gotten rid of any of this. And then I have these. So these and possibly a couple of these are going to be going on Emily as well. Mostly because yes, Emily's dress is completely plain except for like the trimmings, but the idea is she is an angel, so she should shimmer. So I've been trying to add things like some clear beads and stuff like that that won't completely show up, but when you're in the light and it hits, it just makes a slight glow. So that's cool. And I also brought down one of the boxes I use to hold fabric, and this is for all projects I intended to do soon, or I have no idea why this is in here, but I want to go through this and see what I've got here for what projects. So similar, all of these I know I can't use for the project they were intended for now, because I looked at photos that someone had highly edited when I bought the fabric. I literally saw something I thought looked cute on a whim. I bought it only to realise after this fabric gold tone, it needs to be silver toned, and for some reason they put like a yellower light over it to make it that. This I bought for a House of the Dragon inspired dress, but I haven't even an idea what to do for that. So yeah, but I don't actually have a project for that either. I think half of these, like this fabric, white fabric in here as well. Okay, I found what it originally was. This was where I was storing all my white fabric, and I've just put a load of fabrics over the top where I needed extra space to put it. And black fabric, which I do actually need because I was planning on making things. So that's cool. Okay, so I will start getting these out and actually see what I've got. So I'll see you in a bit. I apologise if you can hear the noise. That is the fan. It's just too hot not to have on right now. So it wasn't all white fabric as I thought. There is still, this is only like half the box. Turned out what I thought was a load of it is this dress. I had forgotten I even started making this. This was for a Seraph of the End, one of the vampires dresses. I went to make this, probably 8 years ago when this was probably one of the first ideas I had when I was starting cosplaying as like actually doing it as a hobby. And it is incredibly bad. It is literally just a tube and a gathered skirt. The zip isn't even right. Don't get me wrong, I could probably easily fix it, but it's made of a jersey fabric as well, and at least I knew back then as well to zigzag stretch fabric so it didn't snap. But yeah, right now that is just a complete shock that I still had that, so I'll put that over there. So we have, like I said, a green organza fabric, and I do want to do a Tinkerbell project either. So I've got this green organza, which is actually, if you look closer, a mix of a darker green with light green stripes for it. It's actually pretty cool. Probably by the look of it, it's just when I was buying fabric, I've seen that on the listings and just gone, oh, I like that. Which I know this fabric as well. This was a really cheap fabric, but it does feel really nice quality. I bought some of the other colours. Probably it was bought for a lining, or it can be a dress on its own, given that it is nice. Have this one. And it, I think, is meant to be, I have no idea. I said it's one. I did originally have it where I would put what fabrics they were, how much I spent on that, and I put them in like the fabric because I didn't want them to get damaged by pins, and the fabric just kept falling out. So I have no idea what a load of this stuff is. Same with this one. I think this is a lot like the organza where I just bought it because I was buying fabric anyway. This one's still really nice, and I do want to still use it for like a House of the Dragon piece. I think this was when I was looking at season 1 Rhaenyra. I decided I was going to use this as the red fabric for it that you see the little parts of. So I thought that would be cool. I think I have a second cut of this somewhere where I bought only like 1 metre of it and then decided to go back that I liked it and I get more, but I have no idea. This, I think this is meant to be a silk blend dupioni, which I got online. And again, like I said, it's a lot more yellowy gold. This was for Labyrinth. I've wanted to make Sarah's dress for a long time, and I have no idea why, but I didn't have any picture on my phone. Like I said, I randomly just decided while I was in like a fabric shop to go and get it. I saw the fabric and I bought this like gold toned brocade to be these like skirt parts. And then when I came home afterwards, I bought this to go with it as more of the skirt again. And then I randomly decided to watch the film and realised that the dress is silver toned and white with like an organza multicolour, not gold at all. So I will find a different project for these. And then these are a load of random cotton pieces I picked up in a charity shop. I think it was only like £3 or £4 for the whole bag. And the idea is going to literally be, these are going to be bodices, they're like the plainer fabric. And then these were going to be sleeves that basically for like chemises or projects where I need a fancy looking white sleeve but don't want to make a whole chemise to go underneath, or cuffs on a shirt where I needed, again, something just to look fancier without having to put a lot of work into it. So that is everything for this pile. Okay, so this is what is left of it. This is what I was talking about. A lot of the fabric I own still, I bought probably 8 or 9 years ago when I decided like I wanted to cosplay. I was like, oh goodness, I at the time wasn't fully aware like how long it was going to be. Before then I just made very basic costumes, and I had my grandma and my mum helping me, so all three of us could make a very simple piece in like a day or two. So doing it on my own, as well with my ADHD and that, I learned how low I was. But my local fabric shop basically was doing these sales where everything was like £1. So we have this example. It comes like all the information of it, but this was, one sec. There you go. So this is like what I was originally using, but I couldn't find the notebook, so I don't actually know what projects these fabrics were originally for. But I did put the measurements. So this is 152 wide, and then this is 376 centimeters long fabric, and I paid £1 for it. And it's basically a crepe fabric, same as this is 152 centimeters wide, 480 long, so nearly 5 meters, and I would have paid £1 for that during the like £1 sale. And this is again, I think this is another crepe like fabric, but it's incredibly opaque. And I think I came home, they did like 2 of these sales in a year, and I came home with, I think in total, 5, possibly 6 black sacks full of just fabric, which was very, very much, and it filled boxes and boxes of stuff, and I still have a load of the fabrics. But yeah, so that's that. We've got this one I bought in Goldhawk Road, and I think I have at least 7, if not 8 meters of it, possibly even 9. I don't think I actually ever wrote it down. No, none of the ends have that pin like that, so I don't actually know how much is there, but that was bought to basically create a huge full ball gown, which I didn't even have a pattern for at the time. I do now own a pattern, which I might use for that. So it's not down here, but I think this is the pattern I originally bought it for, because the fabric, the colours being so close. And this said, for the dress, 6.3 meters. So I think I probably would have bought, like I said, at least 7, if not more, for that. But I said I have no idea what project that before, and I do have fabric that I've used for another House of the Dragon dress I made about 2 years ago that matches. These were old curtains that could be the exact same shade as this, and I know for a fact I have 15 meters of a chiffon crepe like fabric that's semi-opaque that I planned on turning into a full-blown ball gown, so I could make that ball gown, and whatever's left could be used for detail on this as well. So that's that. Yeah, I said I bought a lot of black and dark blue crepes and stuff like that, as well as some very random beautiful fabrics. And then I have different black cotton, and this is obviously just scraps left over from where I've cut projects. I know one of these, this one's a bit like school uniform fabric, not actually cotton, so I know it's a kind of blend. And these two are cotton, and I think one of these, I think it's this one, is the 120 yard wide one I bought before. But it is cool that I've now found a load of black fabric, because I did need that. I was planning on making myself a pair of shorts to try and help with this heat. So I now don't have to buy any fabric for that. So that's cool. So yeah, that was everything that was in this box. I said this was not anything that I thought was, which means it's the other box which is under all my sewing stuff and my mannequin that has all the fabric I thought this had in. So I'm going to have to swap those over at some point. So that is it for this box. And quick thing, turns out that fabric was actually two pieces of fabric. One was this more opaque crepe, and one was this one was a thicker one, and this one I'm guessing is like an organza. So yeah, I do know what project that is for, but I still don't know how to make that, so I won't say anything yet. Okay, so as usual, I have not got a lot done. I do more in the evenings than day, but my laptop unfortunately had a lot of problems with sorting out iCloud, and I've only managed to start getting it sorted out now. So I am sorting out a load of photos to start being downloaded, and while that is happening, luckily the iCloud system working is actually doing my folders this time, so each download is going to be a particular folder, which saves me so much time organising later. I have just eaten dinner. I had it a little bit early just so that I could spend literally the rest of the evening sewing. So I am going to clear the table back off. Dress is there, it's already got the pin and everything, beads are there, so I can just start sewing while getting some done. What I'm probably going to do is move the table next to me with my laptop on, so that I don't have to keep getting up and moving back and forth between the two to get stuff done. So I am going to do that, and then I'm going to find, so I'm probably going to just put the telly on and put an old show or something on, just so I have some kind of background noise for me. Got a pigeon in the garden, but yeah. So I said mine, I'm not expecting to sleep. I normally don't fall asleep until a lot later, so I've still probably got about what's half the day for me to go, so see how much we actually get done. Okay, so this is the front of the first sleeve done. I said the idea is you don't see them up close because they are like clear beads, but when the light hits them, these ones have a blue, pink and a slight green like shimmer, so I thought they were really cool. Now the reason this unfortunately took so much longer than I had hoped is because this isn't actually fabric, this is like a cording, and I have to obviously use a thinner needle to be able to go through the whole of the bead, but therefore thicker needle to go through the cording, so I'm having to use, like I said, a much thinner needle than I probably should for this stuff, but it's the thickest that I have that will go through these beads still. And that is because I'm not just being it, because I've cut away the fabric. These sheets are actually a bit older. That was one of the reasons I used them, is because when I made Emily, I was trying to do as much of stuff I already had. So it was fabric that I already owned, trims, basically everything except for the wings, which I had to buy. I already owned everything and made the costume from that. So yeah, so it was, it isn't, like I said, it's a really nice fabric and it's airy because it was a bed sheet. So for the hotter weathers, it's a nice cosplay to wear. But yeah, the cording had started to fall apart. So I have been having to not just sew the beads on, but literally sew around the entire path of this in little stitches just to help keep everything in place. And I'm going to be buying some fray check as well and putting that on the back of these just so that nothing falls apart. I haven't looked yet, I still need to find these. I have a vague idea what tub they're in. The little ones I showed everyone earlier that I use for specific projects, I have bigger ones of those, and as far as I know they are in that one of them. But I have about 10 of them that I use for a variety of different things, from buttons, closures. I think I've got one that is all jewellery pieces, so like clasps and stuff like that. So I do need to find this, and yes, my nail varnish is chipping away. So I won't do that today, but I probably tomorrow need to take my nail varnish off, or yeah, I think I do need to take off and just go from start again. I had already put a new layer on Saturday just to try and keep it nice for when I went to see my nan on Sunday. So yeah, the front sleeve is finally, like I said, all done. I am very behind with the photos because the screen keeps freezing. I think it's just that our internet is that bad that it can't actually get any of it to work. Because at the same thing on the same internet, my laptop, my iPad is what I was trying to use to render the video that I was going to be putting up today. Because I didn't post yesterday because obviously I was out all day. And it has been an hour and a half and the video won't even work at all to render. So yeah, that's not looking good. So what I might end up doing by the look of this is, luckily my phone has the same video, so I might end up having to, or what I'll do is try 5G from my phone to the iPad first to see if that works. If it doesn't, I might have to try and do it on my phone and see, because I don't want to, I try to not do postings on, I do try to do postings on Monday, because Sunday is usually the day that I film and edit. Obviously because I wasn't there, I haven't got everything, so I need to do some filming, but it's so hot I can't even actually be in my room, so we'll see how this goes. But yeah, I'm probably going to even sleep down here tonight, just so I can literally just sew until I crash, sleep, wake up and start sewing again. Okay, so I'm on my 5G. Let's see, import video, and it's working. So it is our internet that is not working. Okay, so that is that then. So I can start getting that, and as soon as that's done I can then post it. Sounds like we've got a plane going overhead. Yeah, so like I said, I am finally getting into sewing. I said I want to try and get Emily's sleeves done today at least. If not, I've got other things that I can do as well. So we'll see how we go. Okay, everyone, I think everyone who does sewing goes through this. I have somehow lost my needle that I was using to sew. I have spent literally 40 minutes checking the table, the floor, everything to try and find this needle, and I have not. Luckily I found another one, which I think it seems to be small enough that it will go through the these beads, but not through the other side. I'm going to have to find another bead, everyone. So I have wasted the last hour trying to find my needle. It was on the table and then I can't find it at all now. I have literally scrunched up this fabric to see if it was in their dress. It's not. I've managed to find another one. This one is thicker than the one I was using, but it still goes through these beads luckily, but it does not go through the other beads that I was planning to use. So I will have to grab a thinner needle for that. But I can use one. So yeah, I got the sleeve done. Like I said, cut it off, knotted it all up, and then I had to obviously do this. iCloud still not working. I've been trying for hours now. I got one folder of I think 9 sorted, so that has not been fun trying to get that to work. So I've had to obviously just keep trying, but my laptop doesn't want to connect to 4G, so I'm having to use the house internet, and the house internet is what's not working. But yeah, so I've got another one, so luckily it means I can do all the front of this sleeve, and hopefully I'll get that done today, and we'll see where we go from there. But yeah, I don't know how this always happens. It was literally there. I went to grab a drink, came back, and it was not there, and I've literally looked over every single bit of the carpet around this table, and it's not there. So that is, like I said, now wasted, so we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so this is 10 minutes later. I found it. I got the idea because I had my phone in my hand. My phone was flat, so obviously it was out of the way before I started filming, and I thought, well, what if I put my light on it? And literally did that, and it took me a minute to find it on the floor, despite the fact that I had my hand there going over the carpet, and that is not a small off the needle, and yet somehow I managed to avoid it going on my hand, which I'm very happy about, but still somehow I did not find it. So I now have both needles, but it means I can use this. I'm going to use the thicker needle to finish off the sleeve, just because of the corded fabric it is. That will help. But when I go to do all the other beading, I now have the thinner needle which I can use, so that's cool. So that is an update done, and this is why I get nothing done. I decided to grab a couple of the pearls just to check, realised how messy it was, and what I did, I pulled it all into here. There was literally going through it, no saving it, every single bead. There was others in it, so I'm not going to do all of that, trust me, that is hours and hours of work, so I won't be doing it all in one. So what I've done is I'm taking a small scoop. Sequins are really easy to pull out, so are the pearls and these big blues, as well as the I can't remember what they're called, but I was going to be using some of these anyway, so it saves me getting the binder that I use to store a lot of my beads in out, and the silver beads, and then all the rest of them are just going in there. I'm not going to sort them right now. I'm going to set myself a timer. I'm going to do this. I've been doing this for what, 15 minutes now. I'm going to do it for another 10 minutes or so, so probably one more scoop, and then I will put this to the side and take a break and get back to the actual beads. Yeah, so I knew I shouldn't have done it, but as soon as I saw it, my brain just went, oh, I'll just do a little bit, and I thought I'd only been doing it like 15 minutes, and I've just looked at the clock and it was actually closer to half an hour I've been doing it, because I couldn't obviously just pour all the beads out into that bowl, otherwise they would have gone all over the floor and the table. So so yeah, I'm definitely not going to be using the sequins, although it's silver bead for Emily, but like I said, silver beads, I probably use those larger beads and the pearls as well as those, And like I said, everything else is just going in those little cups for now until I can sort them out. Probably at a much later date, but we'll see how it goes. So yeah, like I said, I'll do one more scoop, or I say one more scoop. It's that pretty much I will do, and then I will, like I said, put this to the side. My laptop has finally turned back on because it shut itself down. I have no idea why it did, but it did. It's one of the reasons that I haven't used my laptop for as much as I should for editing and everything, because I just have so many problems. I do need to fix this, but it is 10 years old now. I mean, I got this when the sequel Star Wars films, the first one came out, and I got this Star Wars themed laptop then, which is a Stormtrooper in the corner. Oh. And then the colour is Darth Vader. So it is original Star Wars like character on it, and like the glowing buttons for the Sith and that. But it was, like I said, released then, so it was equal release. Yep, between 2015 and 2019. So yeah, my laptop is actually probably about 10 years old, and I think I do need to take it to get it cleaned. I know the battery doesn't even work anymore. I have to have it just plugged in to work. But yeah, so yeah, I mostly work, like I said, on my iPad. It's pretty much everything I can do on here. Only I can't do is, although I probably could get an adapter for it, my oh, what's it called? I have a 2 terabyte, basically a memory card but bigger. I can't even remember what it's called. I use that to keep all my photos and everything on. I started that because of when I went college and uni, I somehow always got all the problems where my work got deleted. And this actually happened to me several times. I have no idea how I do it, but I do. So I end up having like 4 or 5 copies of it. And I used to actually go, like when I was at college and uni, I would have 3 different memory sticks, all with the exact same information on, because somehow at least one version of the thing would stop working when I needed it. So yeah, I back up, everything goes onto my laptop, and then it goes into the, I keep wanting to say battery pack, but it's not a battery pack. Oh, what's it called? I know it's not a memory bank either, so let's have a look. Hard drive, that's it, it's a hard drive. And I know I already have an external hard drive from a PlayStation, so it's literally the exact same hard drive for both, just one of them has a PlayStation symbol on the front. But yeah, that is literally what I back everything up to. But the piece for it goes from the hard drive into a USB, so I have to have my laptop for that. So, like I said, I will finish doing this little rant, do this like, it's probably only a quarter of a cup. I'll do that, it'll probably take me about 10 minutes or so, and then I can get back to beading. Hey everyone, so it is the next morning now. I am now, sorry, I'm messing with my headphones. Hey everyone, so it is the next morning. I did not get as much of the sleeve done as I planned last night. I wanted to finish it. It's nearly done. I managed to get my iCloud to work, and I managed to download all the photos I needed and in the correct folders, which haven't updated for a while, which means instead of having to download 1,000 at a time photos and they being a giant bundle and having to mix through them and all that, I was able to just literally click on the folder, download the folder essentially with all the photos, and put them into a folder on my laptop. So I spent the evening that, because that's the first time in a long time it's worked and was that quick. I just wanted to get it all done. But as I said, I am now nearly done with sleeve. I've literally got this bit here is the last bit to do, and then the front of the sleeve is done. And I accidentally started the back of the other sleeve the other day, yesterday, when I was sewing without realising it. So I do think I've got to just fix this bit as well. But I do think that I will possibly get these sleeves completely done by tonight. I said, unfortunately, because of how thick this is, I am having to use a thicker needle, which means it is a lot harder to get through the thread. That's that. So I am going to be stopping for a couple of minutes. I've literally got a load of washing. I did plan to do it yesterday, but we kept getting, despite it being ridiculously hot and humid, we kept getting a load of dark clouds randomly coming over where I live, and that could have meant rain, so I didn't put the washing on. But we have literally just pure bright sun skies, and it is, I think, 31 degrees where I am right now. So it's ridiculously hot, so I've got the fan going again. But it is, like I said, coming along, and as soon as I have done this, I can go back to using a much finer, nice needle, which doesn't involve me having to use pliers half the time to get it through the fabric. So yeah, I will start working on that. Okay, so on the, like I said, started the final sleeve part. Washing is out, and I am probably going to start making dinner in a sec. I'm going to finish off this bit and then do it. So yeah, it has been, well, it's not 24 hours. No, it has been 24 hours, okay? So, not as productive cosplaying wise, but like I said, I did manage to get, I think, about 8,000 photos on my cloud, as well as videos backed up, which normally does take me a couple of days because it takes so long to file, organise and sort. So being able to do that in a couple of hours was really cool. So I will, like I said, finish this bit off, and I should get that done tonight then, which means I can start working on the other bit. And that is all for this little clip.